the Scene Snobs podcast.
It's empty, Gail.
Fucking time, man.
Every time he hits that table, every time he hits that table, it's my favorite thing on the planet. I love it. Welcome everybody to Friday night. It is Scene Snobs night, our new night.
Yeah,
We're back. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I don't have to introduce you anymore. I realized, well, I guess I do. It is a podcast. That's producer Paul. So you guys know. For a second there, I'm like, wait, we have credits. And it's like, oh, wait. For the visually not watching,
Yes.
your ears need to know who you are.
Yes.
Although those dulcet tones, they know who you are.
Here's the southerner in me. Hear that my neck is burned right now, and we were just talking about it because I do got a little sunburn now that you pointed it out.
Dude, yeah, you're a little red.
Yeah.
Be careful out there, man. Let's go down. Let's go to our wonderful clip view.
Perfect.
Where I'm on top, where baby bears on top,
Brown bears on bottom.
and big old brown bears on the bottom.
Always.
Bro, we come in hard. Oh,
Oh God.
Oh God. That was way too dark. It was way too dark. This is way too much. This is going too off the rails for the beginning of the show.
It's supposed to be absurd, right? That's fine.
It is. You got to bring the absurdities. Yeah. It's embrace it. That's what it's about. Embrace it. So, but I'm glad we're here. We have some special fun guests tonight. Roy's back, of course. He's been helping us out. And of course, the man, the myth, the co-host who shows up whenever he wants. That's kind of how that goes. It's Sturdy. He's here, Sir Sturdy himself from the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast. So try saying that 3 times fast.
I can't.
If you think that's all we had, you're crazy, because we have the worst damn gamer ever, Mr. Chris P. Nugs. That's right. They're all here. We're gonna have a good time with them tonight. But Paul, I want to get started on something with you. I want to talk about some movies with you. You up for some movie talk?
I guess. I mean, I want to talk about other things, but I guess we could talk about movies for a little bit.
That's fair. What do you want to talk about?
The last book I read, which I can't even tell you. So here we are. Or no, it was probably the 10 laws of power. Or,
you know what? I'm reading a new one too. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'll check that out. The 10 Laws of Power. I like that.
Yeah, my brother got me that when I got that GM position at the car wash. He said, apply it to your job in life. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. See what that's all about. I'm looking for good books to read. I've been reading, actually, I picked up a complete works of Shakespeare, so I've been kind of reading through some of my favorites, just kind of enjoying it and refreshing. I don't want to say like I'm some guy who just reads Shakespeare out of the blue. Like, I started in the theater. Shakespeare is kind of important to me. So it I don't talk about it often, but I do love Shakespearean movies. I love the plays and things like that. But it's been years since I picked it up. And it's been really fun to actually pick up a book again and just like kind of read the plays, especially as I've been writing a screenplay. Mm-hmm. It's kind of reaching back to the past and like how they told stories, and it's kind of helping in a big way. So I've been enjoying it. So
heck yeah.
But I got to pick up a new book. I did start reading a new book called The Courage to be Disliked.
Okay.
It's about a Japanese philosophy steeped in like sort of a mix of like Stoicism, Buddhism practices, things like that. But the Japanese sort of took all of these and kind of created into their own. From what I'm gathering, I've not finished the book yet.
Okay.
But it has been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. So like, yeah, we are the Scene Snobs, but we do love a good book. That's for sure. But let's get into some movies that aren't based on books. Actually, all 3 of them are not based on books. One of them is a carbon copy of every other movie, and that is our first review tonight. Welcome to the Scene Snobs Reviews Hell of a Summer. Hell of a Summer. It's only one way to put this.
Yes.
To kick this off, we'll go into our normal format, which I'll tell you what the movie's about. And of course, I share my review, and then Paul's going to share his review and our ratings and such. So, and then, of course, fill in the comments what you thought of this movie. But this is Hell of a Summer is a 2025 film horror movie that takes place in a summer camp. It was directed by an actor who's in the film, Billy Brick, who I have never heard of before, and Finn Wolfhard, who, of course, from Stranger Things. This tells a tale of a group of camp counselors going to get ready for camp. The guy who's running it he's played one of the Caesars in the Gladiator 2 movie that just came out. And I think he was Chameleon in Craven. This guy is weird. I don't know how the actor is in real life, but in every role he's in, he plays like a really weird guy. He's the protagonist here. It's just not a great fit all around. I didn't love this movie. It's basically a carbon copy. It's not even an homage, kind of like playing it up to the summer camp movies we've seen with the slashers. This is just completely seems like it kind of just takes from other summer camp movies, sticks everything together and tries to be funny for almost an hour and a half, and it just isn't. It missed on every point for me. There's some fun, little quips in there, and there's some cool kills. So, but there's not a lot of great practical effects being put into it. This is a movie that it took all of these tropes, it took this budget, and this is what we got. I feel like most of the budget went to some of the recognizable phases in it, probably Finn Wolfhard's as well. What bugs me about movies like this is that this came out, I guess, in 2023 from what it says, but it's like officially out now. So I'm guessing it traveled the circuit for a little while. And I see why. It's dull. But then I get kind of upset. I'm an indie guy. I love indie movies. This is an indie movie. But let's be real. This movie had the budget it had because it had the director it had, who was in Stranger Things. If you want to take a good summer camp slasher movie, I go back 2 years before this movie was made in 2021, and then you see something like Bloody Summer Camp come out. And now, I know I'm a little biased there, but I watched this movie before I knew the director and became friendly with him. It was actually one of the movies that propelled me to do so, because I have a high respect for indie filmmakers that go out there, do their crowdfunding, and put out really good products. Dave Kerr, who directed Bloody Summer Camp, did that. And now the reason I'm drawing the parallels is because it has a lot of things even from that movie that are very familiar. The devil faces, that was one of the slashers in that movie, stuff like that. So when I get to this movie, it feels stale. It feels dull. It feels like it's not bringing or doing anything new for this subgenre that we know well, but is often not always done right. But I do have to say, I get annoyed when I see stuff like this, because big budgets and big distribution tend to go into things like this movie. And then I look at crowdfunded movies like A Bloody Summer Camp, and there are many others that you can go check out. And those directors, with even half the budget that these movies get, could do wonders with really good products. So we're not getting those projects. We're getting stuff like this, and it's out in our faces, and it's out there for rent, because there's actually some star power in it. Although there's no good storytelling power in it. So that's my feelings on Hell of a Summer. I give it a 1.5 out of 5. Paul, I'd love to hear what you think about this movie.
I mean, honestly, I was going to kind of say the same thing. I was going to take it a little further just because I got the chance to work on Bloody Summer Camp 2 on set. So after seeing, where Dave's progressed with Bloody Summer Camp, it's going to blow this out of the water. So I was sitting there watching this. I was disappointed, kind of like you just said. You had the budget, you had everything, and you just threw everything that kind of worked in other movies together and hoped it'd be perfect, and it just sucked. It was run of the mill. This is one absolutely I'd say stream at home if you want something to watch while you clean your house, where you can look at the screen occasionally and be like, huh. But
yeah,
I mean,
and there was no real build up for any characters to even care about them.
None.
You kind of all. And I get that when you make a movie like this and you get to this point where you're creating these characters, and maybe they are more obtuse. You go back to Friday the 13th; they are characters you don't really bond with or really feel anything for. You know what you're getting into with this, but they do way better in that movie. This movie is just very stale, and the connections and things like that. Some of it feels really forced. it's just one of those things that, like, for this, like, it really tried to be something it wasn't. Whoever wrote this tried to write it like a comedy in a way that you might see with, like, The Package is one that comes to mind that came out a couple of years ago, which was a really, like, surprisingly raunchy, funny comedy. This movie felt like they were trying to almost be that, but they were not willing to go that far with the comedy, and they didn't understand the joke structure. It was kind of like one of those things like, this would be funny if we did this. It would be funny if we did this. And I see that more and more in like indie movies or like movies like this, where it just feels like a bro movie. Like, bro, this would be funny if we did this. This would be funny if we did this. And it's like, yeah, you know, it would be fun. A good story. You know, that would be the most fun aspect of movies. But yeah, so this was just a miss on all cylinders for me. I was not a big fan. And you're saying the same. What was your rating for this one?
I think I gave it a 2 out of 5, just kind of being nice, because I did giggle at some of the slightly funny moments, but I mean, that's not a praise though, you guys. 2 out of 5 is
I'm not even going to talk about the hard-on scene, but that one did have me laugh a little bit. They handled that one pretty well, but even that was like the funniest joke in it, and I was like, you mean you really don't know what tofu is? I mean, come on.
Right.
We're going to drag this one out for a little while. But
yeah.
So that's our ratings and how we felt about Hell of a Summer. I want to hear what you guys think. Sound off in the comments and let us know. We appreciate it. Let's get to our next one for the evening. I do love a good spy thriller. And let me tell you, one of my favorite movies of this year. It's a good spy thriller. But it wasn't this one.
Oh, okay, good. I was about to be like, ooh,
Black Bag for sure. Like, if you want to know what to go watch spy thriller wise, there's 25 James Bond movies. On top of that, this year, Black Bag came out, and to me, that is like one of the best spy thrillers. Like, that's up there with like a Spy Game. Now we've reviewed that. You can go see the in depth on that, but yeah, The Amateur. Well, I don't mind spying thrillers that look like this, that are sort of in the same style. But overall, to tell you guys sort of the story, The Amateur stars Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne, and there's a bunch of other people in this movie. And Rami Malek is a CIA analyst whose wife gets killed by terrorists in London, and he finds out who they are. And the CIA is reluctant to go after them because it turns out they're assets to the CIA. So his bosses don't know. So he blackmails his bosses and says, train me to go after them. So they comply. They figure they'll do it, and then they can search into him, maybe have something to blackmail him back with. I'm not giving too much away because that's literally comes up in the first like 20 minutes of this movie, and it's just all exposition. They're all just going to talk it out. So I'm saving you that moment. But when it gets down to it, you turn out he's not really a killer, but he's very smart. It's almost like they draw from Law-Abiding Citizen in this, where it's not so much about going out and looking him directly in the face and getting your revenge like a death wish. He is methodically using his strengths and building, certain type of contraptions or devices to take out these different terrorists. So as we go on, this is a movie that I thought would be really interesting. I like movies within this wheelhouse. Again, talking about things like Law-Abiding Citizen and stuff like that. I thought taking the spy thriller and putting a revenge twist, like the wife revenge twist, which has been done before in the spy thriller genre, but not often. So I thought this would be something different, something I can really kind of get behind. But through it, it was just dull. Lawrence Fishburne plays a pretty good character. John Bernthal, if you sneeze, you'll miss him. He's in like 2 quick cameo shots. It makes no sense for him to be there. I don't know why he's there. It's always a joy to see him show up, but not when he's underutilized and not used well. You have this guy who agrees to do your movie, and you have him play the villain. If you don't want him to play one of the good guys or the handlers or something, or the star, he would have been a better version of the star, and then just change it from, or actually you could kind of keep it like he just doesn't want to shoot. But I could go on and on for days about this movie. The Amateur just kind of missed. Gets a 2 out of 5 for me. It's well produced, well acted, but overall, not too great. One of the characters I actually did, or not characters, one of the actors I did like in the movie, Rachel Brosnan, was played his wife in it. She's actually going on to play Lois Lane in the new Superman movie. I thought her being in it when it adds some gravitas because I liked her from Maisel and things like that. She's another one who's blink and you'll miss it. You don't even know that she's there half time. I didn't even know she was his wife until it was starting to happen and he started crying. And I'm like, and that's in the trailer, but like, that's that, and I'm like, what is going on here? But whatever. I digress a little bit. Coming back down to it, it's a 2 out of 5 spy thriller for me. One, maybe check out if it's on TV, you might like it, but I just overall the story just was like a little too boring. Paul, what did you think about that?
So, like, the trailer made it seem like it was going to be a new American Assassin. So I was thinking it was going to be a little more action involved, a little more hardcore revenge. I mean, obviously, like even the trailer showed that it was going to be a little more methodical and thought out, but it just didn't deliver like it should have. It was boring. It was kind of drawn out. Like myself, kind of looking at my phone too much, just being like, how much longer is left for him to hurry up and get his mission done that he wants? And just I hate, I guess, almost plot holes. They had too many plot holes. Like, oh, okay, well, he's come up with all these security protocols, so that's why he's able to get through them. Why'd you even let him blackmail? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but how easy is it for the CIA just to cap someone? So, I mean, you want blackmail, just pop, pop. That's it. Like, you did it for JFK, so what's up?
And like, it's not like this guy was like this family man with like 7 kids and like he's going on. Like, his wife's now gone. He is the only living member in his family. They mention these things.
Right.
There's like nothing to it. And like, you're absolutely right. I didn't really think about that version of the plot hole. That's like, wait a second. They when he's not in the room, they spend the entire time searching for him, saying, we need to like get him. Like, he needs to be gone, taken out. And they still won't do it. They're still like, well, we like him too much. Like 2 CIA handlers, 2 CIA handlers and the bad guy of the film refuse to kill him.
Right.
Because he's likable. And I'm watching this for 2 hours saying, he's not that likable. He's kind of insufferable. If you really like, why somebody needed to like grab his hand and be like, no, you can't do this. You can't go out creating international incidents and blowing up pools, which was like the only cool part of the movie. So they get a little crazy with it. I've already talked about this movie more than I want to. So that's a 2 out of 5 for me. What's your rating for this?
I put it a 1 out of 5. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't enjoy it. Unfortunately.
That's fair. I thought it was better produced than the other one we just talked about, Hell of a Summer. So like I gave it that extra half point. But Lawrence Fishburne I thought was good. I thought he did a good job, so he's gonna get a point from me. And I gotta tell you though, I would wait for this one to stream if you want to check it out. I wouldn't spend the money on it personally, but let's get to our next review. That's right. That's what it is. It is The Accountant 2. Another John Bernthal movie.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna save. You know what? I'm gonna save my rating for this until the end. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I keep giving it away. I give it away too easily for you people. I can't do that anymore. I can't just give things away for you people. Especially when I don't download the actual graphic for it. So that's really what it comes to. No, but The Accountant 2, if you've seen the first Accountant movie, it stars Ben Affleck. He's a high-functioning, as per him, high-functioning autistic person who is on the spectrum more towards what I guess they would call Asperger's back in the day. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how it works. I do know plenty of people with autism, and I do know that there are high-functioning autistic people who do amazing things every day in society. And yes, I'm saying that for effect because it's true. And I'm saying that to make sure that you're all idiots if you want anything other or think anything else. That's my review of this minute. So The Accountant 2. Now, if you want to talk about actors playing autistic people, there's some really bad ones. And Ben Affleck is not one of them. In this movie, he speaks very weirdly. I don't know. He almost like, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. It's like he went on full on with it.
Yeah.
And the way he does it in this movie, here's the thing. I'm going to share it. It's 3 out of 5 for me. I had fun with this movie as a buddy cop film. Essentially is what it comes down to, because now both brothers, one a hitman, one an accountant for like mob and terrorist organizations, things like that, are all badass with guns and everything. They come out in this sequel. Don't expect much from anybody from the first one, except for Medina, the head of the FinCEN, who they team up with at the end of the first one. They don't expect too many people from the first one in this, like for too long or anything like that. This is very much about them. John Bernthal and Ben Affleck got together and said, let's make a movie where we're going off being Billy Badasses and fighting. And I'm here for it. I like good buddy cop type films, and this is a good one. They play off each other well. I like the aspect of them being brothers. I like the mission that they're on. It's kind of a personal mission for them. They expanded on the lore of the first one a little bit more and changed genres. It's after 9 years from 2016 when the first one came out. It's kind of cool that they rewrote this into one where you can have a little more fun with it. It's not as dark. It's not as brooding. This is one that actually comes about and you're like, all right, save the day. 2 brothers fighting most of the time, but it's a good time. This overall was a win for me as far as the movie goes this weekend. This is, if you did want to get out to the theater, not a bad one to go see. I can think of about 2 more, especially Sinners. You should go see first. We did a full review on that. You can go check it out. I would say go see that in theaters first, because that's a cinematic type of movie. This one isn't so much a cinematic type of movie as much as you're going to have a fun time with it. It's a good date night movie. You got 2 hotties for your girl to check out during the movie. You don't get anybody. You keep your eyes on your girl. Calm down. That's how this works in this. But overall, fun movie. If you do wait until it comes out on streaming, you'll still be happy. I think it's one that you should go check out. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Paul, what did you think about The Accountant 2?
So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So we were about so far. I really enjoyed this. Besides, like you said, it kind of felt like he watched I Am Sam and decided to change his man's talking skills a little bit.
They really did. Like, because the first one, like, I got where you had the cadence. There's not a lot of emotion to it. It seemed more drawn in, like, it seemed more realistic. Like, it didn't seem like he was trying to have a voice.
Right.
He got a good dialect coach or something and pulled it off really well. And even like the way he was looking and things like that. And I just watched the first one 2 days ago for the first time ever.
Oh.
So like, it's not like I didn't have to wait that 9 years to kind of come into it. So then when getting to this one, I was like, oh, this is different.
Right.
He's, especially when he's in the line dancing scene, which I thought was a great scene. Like fun. It was right. Fun. Like, and like he's done and this guy's talking to him and his friends are rolling up on him. And it's, but the way he's like talking to him, he's like, oh, good. My brother wants to fight. He likes to fight. So you can hit me now. Like, it felt like more young Sheldon-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like it felt a little gimmicky when the way he was portraying it. And I thought, like, if you kept it similar to the first one, a lot of those conversations where Bernthal's character is trying to talk to his brother and be like, did you miss me? Did you care about me? Blah, blah, blah. It would have landed a little bit harder.
Right.
So, yeah. But but the action, perfect. They play off each other really well. It's a good movie. But yeah, I just wish he did something. I wish he actually did the same character from the first one. But I did like that they recast the young lady who plays the other autistic woman who kind of runs the lab. Yeah. I did like that they changed, because I liked her in the first one, but she was younger than him when they were children. Right. And then when you see her, she looks much older than him. So I didn't get that. I thought it was just miscast. In this one, she looked like she was a couple of years younger than him, and it like worked within that framework. But tell me you did. I didn't know she was in the first one. She was the voice on the phone. Yeah, they didn't. But yes, going back, but rewatching. Just rewatching. Oh, you just watched. They never really say that. They just sort of allude to it at the end. that
Right.
she was the one talking the whole time. And if you, it's very much, again, it's interesting. It's good filmmaking. I missed it. I realized that's my fault. It's good filmmaking, but I'm glad that they elaborated on this one, so that way I could really pick up and be like, oh, that's why he does that. That's awesome. You know, he puts all this money in, and now I get why.
Right.
You know, it's fantastic in that sense. So they did some good world building here. I wouldn't mind seeing another one of these. But overall, you dug it?
Yeah, and the comedy I was kind of surprised by. I didn't think it was going to be quite as happy because the other one was a little darker. The first one was a little darker and more serious. So this one kind of be more lighthearted and funny. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick was the one who brought the lightheartedness in that one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm glad John Bernthal came in and brought that lightheartedness too. So very cool. That's our reviews. And this is our review of The Account number 2. Let us know what you think in the comments. And we're going to get to our regular show. We're going to bring in our good buddies. Get Sturdy in here.
Yelling and shit.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what you're doing right now, bro, but be safe. And
okay, we're going to get rid of Sturdy right now. He was like, these guys are doing reviews. Screw them. But welcome to the show. We got Roy. We got the worst damn gamer ever, Chris P. Nugs. I want to say thank you guys for joining in. When Sturdy's back on screen, I'll pop them in. But we're going to have some fun talks tonight. How's everybody doing?
Short, round, and close to the ground.
Short, round, and close to the ground. That is poetry at its best, and I'm in love.
Same. You said Shakespeare. I had to come up with something, right?
That Billy Boy did not even ever come up with anything that good. There was no. He did not shake that spear, and words like that did not come out. You know what came out?
I was like, yeah, he goes high, I go low.
To be not or not to be.
I'm 6'4", so I was agreeing, but I was like, shit, I'm tall.
Must be nice. Damn.
So, Joe, King's going to win tonight? Who are they playing? You do realize that this is a podcast.
Yeah.
So, everybody, now that I have to tell you who are listening, he gave a thumbs up.
I'm looking at video. I thought I was thinking of the.
Oh, I love it. No, I'm just.
But I was neglecting the unsighted people, and I'm sorry. I gave a thumbs up.
the hearing impaired.
The hearing impaired got the thumbs up. It was the blind people who didn't get the thumbs up.
And who are you to shake your head at me about my autistic conversation, you bastard? I felt like I was going on a good rant there. And I saw you shaking your head, and I was like, I must need to abort. I must need to stop having this conversation. I went for profound. I got lousy.
I wasn't sure if you actually could see me, like if you were able to watch.
I see.
He's always watching.
So I was kind of going over the top, just being silly about it.
I'm the eye in the sky. I see everything.
Mick is big brother. Oh shit! Even worse.
Listen, this big brother. As long as you don't hurt anybody, I don't give a shit. I'm like the big brother who's like just kind of chilling, listening to his music on his bed. Just leave me alone.
Yep.
I got my eye on you, but just leave me alone.
Yeah.
All right? You just kind of do your thing and we'll chill. Like that's the way I think big brother should be. Like I got your back. I'll mess with you sometimes, but for the most part, just leave me alone.
I was a bad big brother. I was not nice to my brothers.
Everybody here who's a big brother, raise their hand.
I'm the oldest of 3 boys.
Garbage.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody take out all the hate that you have towards your big brothers on Joe right now.
But I love my big brother.
My Joe Rogers.
My big brother was awesome.
No, I don't have a problem. But I did get my ass kicked.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Do Bruno?
I said we don't talk about Bruno.
We talk about Bruno. I'm trying to stall until Sturdy gets back so we can talk about Sinners because I know he just saw it in the movie theater.
Oh, look, there he is. I'm glad you could fit us in. Thank you, sir. You're so sweet.
You're welcome.
Sturdy, I got a new shirt for you.
Hell yeah.
New York, nice.
That's an escape key.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I do have a hello for you, Paul, and you, Mick. I just got the phone from my brother, Mike. He told me to tell you guys what's up. Hopes you're both doing good and all that other good shit.
Pleasure, as always. Miss you. So let's get to it. Sinners. Who here who has not seen Sinners?
I'm just kidding.
Spoiler warning, Roy.
Oh, it sucks, Roy. Don't go see it. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Shit.
I want to see it, but I mean,
Too many black people.
no.
I'm messing with you.
There's
Is
only
that why you
one
wore
in
the
room? Damn.
Is that why you wore your white King jerseys? Why I don't know why I did.
Why were my white kids?
Yo, he's head to toe. He got the towel, the scarf.
While we're calling people out, Sturdy, where's the memo, man?
Late
You're supposed to be
playing.
wearing
Let's go.
sleeveless today. What are you doing?
Wait, what happened?
You're supposed to be wearing a sleeveless shirt today. What you doing?
Listen, I'm here legally, so I don't have to do that.
I was cutting
got
grass
jokes
yesterday, so I
today.
figured, fuck it.
I'm not even gonna say what I want to say.
Just that's more for like the gardeners, you two.
Oh, Sturdy.
Oh,
I got you. I got you backstage. I'll write this down. I got you.
You should.
I want
you
to
should.
point it out for everybody who's listening. The white guys are quiet.
Yep.
Nobody's
listen,
calling
get
anybody.
out.
The white guys aren't calling
This
anybody
right here, this right here is called Black on Brown Love. These guys know how I feel about them. You guys know how I feel about them.
That's true.
I would like to point out to everybody who's watching or listening that everyone on this screen is here legally.
Yes, of course. If you guys are dumb enough to believe that, you shouldn't be watching this show.
I don't want to say that either. There's a lot of dumb people who watch the show, and I love you guys.
But the reason why I'm saying that is because they're usually playing for the other team. By the other team, I mean MAGA. That's just terrible. It's the devil.
Listen, MAGA. Listen, hear me out. Mick 2028 hats. What color you want? Warm red? I'll put them up on the merch shop. You can
I'll wear
follow me over on Patreon.
Oh,
I say we test
really
it
gonna
out.
do that?
Everybody writes in SpongeBob as a write-in vote and see if our votes actually matter.
Listen,
It
I'm
do
gonna say
matter.
guys,
If this will, I'm not going to try and get political, but if this last election didn't show that voting matters,
oh wow.
it already
I like that
does.
too, Roy.
Wow.
Damn.
That never went away, Roy.
Jesus.
That never went away. But I'll say this.
oh,
I'll say
anyway,
this.
that's fair. And
2028, right? Get the sturdy hats, especially for you fellas that have a problem keeping it up. You want to stay sturdy? Get a sturdy hat.
Shut up, Ryan.
That's one. Here's two. It's going to be the 30-year anniversary of when It's Dark and Hell is Hot came out in 2028, which means no bullshit can happen. DMX, exactly. Remember that, people.
X gave it to us in all the ways. Not shitty X.
Well, he said he would. He said
Real-
he's going to give it to you.
That's
definitely
true.
did.
Real X said he was going to give it to us. Not that shitty X
Nah,
company.
DMX is the only X we refer to.
Right. Dude, wait. Is Elon Musk trying to co-opt DMX?
Nah, Elon Musk is too stupid for that. And DMX to beat the dog out of him. He tried that shit.
I waited till he died to try and take it. And you know what X gave me? Nothing but headaches.
Well, that's how I got off of Twitter, because it's not X, it's Twitter. Told you, the only X we recognize is DMX.
This is a movie
do.
trivia. Do you know where Twitter comes from? Where the word
No.
Twitter comes from?
You got mail. I'm just gonna throw it. I'm gonna guess. I have
That's
no
a
idea.
that's a fantastic guess.
Is
No. But
it?
it's better than like if I was asked to guess this and I didn't know,
was a
I would
guess.
probably say something like that.
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Jesus.
You said name a movie. You didn't say
With
what type of movie. What movie?
It's not
Debbie
even a
Does
movie.
Dallas.
It's not even a movie. All right. I'm just gonna say it. It comes from Bambi. Now it's a real word, but it comes from Bambi. And if you remember when they're talking about the birds and the bees when the spring starts, there's 2 little blue birds. And I think it's the owl. It's either the owl or flower. I can't remember. I have to look again. Says they're Twitter-pated. And that means they're locked together. They are one. They're in love. They're Twitter-pated. And it's the same blue birds from Twitter. That little blue bird style. And that's where it comes from. Twitter-pated. So that means
Disney, sue Twitter. Get
means
on
we're
it.
connected. I don't think they made it up. Just saying that was where they shared that information.
I'm just saying, Disney will go after a small business or somebody broke. Go after Twitter.
Speaking of people who went after somebody with a small business, let's talk about Sinners.
Yes.
I love that face. I need to know what you thought. I need to know what you thought, man. Not because you're black. Because you're one of my best friends.
I need to know because you're black.
Fair. Honestly, I thought it was awesome.
Give us your ratings down below.
I really enjoyed it, and like, I'm not a big fan of vampire movies for the most part because they're usually corny as hell. This one was not that. This one had a great story to it. It had the blood and gore that I needed for a vampire film to be considered a vampire film, in my opinion. Because again, you have these vampires that are monsters. I'm tired of the whole people falling in love and all that other corny ass shit because it's like they're monsters. They kill. There's nothing sexy about that. All joking aside, there's nothing sexy about that, but they do that shit too much.
I don't know about that, my friend. I'm sorry, but if Haley Seinfeld came up to me looking like that, like a vampire,
but yes,
I might be like, bite me.
Nah, fuck that. Here's some garlic, bitch.
I'm in.
If Michael B. Jordan came up to me with those eyes, I'd let him bite me.
That's 100% true. If that dude wanted to bite me, I'd let him.
Well, I'm not letting anybody. I'm not into all that stuff. I don't want to be a vampire. Nah, I'm good. I like it. You know what it is? I get it, Mick. I get it. The sun bothers you a lot. You don't want to be in it anyway.
I'm more of an inside worker.
Exactly. So I get it. But for me, I like to be out in the sun. It doesn't affect me like that.
First of all, that's bullshit. You know it.
Go outside.
There's only two of us here that like to be out in the sun.
Yeah, right. That's like your guys. That's like your guys' kryptonite.
The sun.
Yep. You know, it's how Superman came from another planet. The sun's good for him. Had he came from Earth, oh man, that green rock would have been great for him.
The green.
But no, seriously, with Sinners though, like I love the story of it, and like I love how they mixed the music into it and kind of showed where the music comes from and all that. And then they went from the generations of music from back in the day all the way up to hip hop in the 90s, and just kind of like a mixture of the Asian culture and all that, the Irish culture in it, which you were definitely pointing out earlier, Mick. And it's something that I think people should go see. It's definitely something I think people should go see, or at the very least, watch it when it's on streaming. If you're someone who's not in the theaters, I did not see it in IMAX. I'm gonna tell you why. The IMAX up here where I'm at, around us, Cross the Gates Mall, the seating is awful. It's like sitting on freaking Stone Age seats. I'm not sitting in a Stone Age seat for 2.5 hours just because it looks beautiful on screen. Fuck that. Pay too much money for that. Fair. Update that shit, Cross Gates. Went to the spot not too far from us. Recliners. Didn't look as good as it would at IMAX, but it looked good. It was great. I was comfortable, which is important watching a movie because you're moving around all antsy. You don't really pay attention as much. But yeah, Sinners, you should definitely check out, people. You should definitely check out. It wasn't like a super overly gory vampire film. It happens kind of later on in the movie, but the story is actually worth watching. The story's entertaining. You're entertained watching. I was entertained for the whole movie. Funny thing though, here's something funny I gotta tell you guys real quick. So me and the wife went tonight, right? About my brother and my sister ended up showing up to this. They're about 5-10 minutes late. They're black, so of course it's gonna happen. Here's the funny thing about that black stereotype. That shit is true because the whole time that you heard somebody talking or laughing, it was my fucking sister. Every time. So after we talked after the film because they didn't know I seen them, they didn't see me. So I was the only one who knew everybody was there. So we're talking after the movie. And I called my sister out. I was just like, I heard you during the movie. I was like, I saw you guys come in and I heard you during the movie laughing and just kind of say like certain, not through the whole movie, but you know how like certain things and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that stereotype is definitely true. At least for myself. So
I want to hear what Chris has to say too, but I want to bring up something about the with this movie and being able to, if you can get out to IMAX, I definitely see what you're saying, Sturdy, and it has comfortable seating. Yeah, because it is a long movie. It's like a 2-hour and 17-minute movie, all the way up to the end. You have to stay for the end credits, all the way past, and watch every scene because they're poignant, and this is setting up a potential franchise because he wants to build off of this. This is Ryan Coogler's first studio original film.
Mm.
You know, it's not an IP, belongs to somebody else. Fruitvale Station, of course, was his first indie film. This is a huge win for not just black filmmakers, because this is going. We've seen with Jordan Peele stepping in and like the success he's seen, an ushering in of so many black horror films. And we've been talking more and more about that. Like I was just talking about The Woman in the Yard last week. And then we were talking about The Deliverance and many others that have been coming out. The Blackening is another one that sticks out to me.
Oh, that was hilarious.
You know, all these films. So like I know you hated The Blackening, Paul, but I thought it was funny. I thought it was so funny.
Me too.
Every aspect of that movie had me cracking up. God, I'm just thinking about some of the jokes. But then you have something like this come out. Now, I love Jordan Peele, and I would compare these two as black horror filmmakers now, with Sinners out, and we know it's going to be a franchise. Now, where I would say, to me, Jordan Peele is somebody like a Steven Spielberg. He's a filmmaker who is going to make fun, poignant films that have good messages that everybody can enjoy. Ryan Coogler is on the level of like a Chris Nolan, in my opinion. He's like an auteur, a film auteur who comes in and makes these films. Like Black Panther does not feel like a Marvel movie. Even Wakanda Forever does not feel like a Marvel movie.
Black Panther is a very powerful movie. A very powerful movie for, I'll say, for black and brown people, because again, we haven't really seen a live action film to where a black or brown hero character is taken seriously and not a sidekick or anything like that. And just like the power of everything and the beauty with it. And then, I mean, you've seen all the people around the show. I'll just speak to the kids. You've seen all the kids around the world, no matter what race or whatever. After Chadwick Boseman passed, that hit a lot of people, including, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of times where you see people passing and you don't see the kids understanding that and the kids being hurt by it. Like you've seen the kids with their toys, with the Black Panther, you know what I mean? Like lining up toys and stuff as like a tribute to them and all this stuff. That there was huge. You're absolutely right with that.
Now, for me, from what I heard, and I don't know if this is true, I haven't deep dove into it enough, but when he gets the flowers in Sinners, that was Michael B. Jordan's choice when he lays them at the grave. That was him and Ryan Coogler's way of honoring Chadwick Boseman.
I believe that because I remember reading somewhere that Michael B. Jordan took that when he passed. He took that really, really, really hard.
Yeah,
so I could definitely see that. And then between with Ryan and doing that movie and now doing this, I can see how they can kind of and would tie that in.
Absolutely, and like that was such a touching scene too, and like the whole fact from the beginning to the end of this movie, you go into it and you're like, is this a vampire film? Which is what the trailer portrays it as, because the first 40 because you don't see the vampire till about 40 minutes in, and even then it doesn't. They're not at the juke joint until you're like 50 or whatever. Man, I don't know the exact amount of time, but like you still have a little bit until they get towards the beginning, and when we really meet them, and they're a threat. This movie is a crime drama all the way through until you get to that point. It reminds me, and we've talked about this, and it's going around a lot of discourse about it, but it reminds me as a tribute, not as a copy of From Dusk Till Dawn.
That's
because let's be real, like a lot of people are like, oh, it's copying From Dusk Till Dawn, it's giving no credit. I'm like, first of all, it doing it and telling a story in a similar fashion, which is not the same story. All you have is a crime movie that turns into a vampire movie. That's the correlation between these two. But the cool thing about this movie is you can tell he's a fan of From Dusk Till Dawn, and that's how you're supposed to pay homage to a movie, not copy it completely. But this movie takes a different turn. In one thing I loved about Robert Rodriguez movies is he's so big with music, and this movie's all music. These vampires want to suck that culture right away from them and take it over in this movie. And that scene, I loved that they didn't. I know I'm talking a lot, but I love that they didn't allow Sammy to really set free and sing until that scene. he sings a couple of times throughout just so you kind of get the idea of his voice, because everybody's building him up as this great blues artist. And then when he finally hits that floor and starts playing and singing, him and Delta Slim, who's played by the great Delroy Lindo, and gives some great performance in this one as well. You get this brilliant, beautiful dance sequence that is all one shot, and it goes through the entire place, and you just see it's a sort of a collection of the history of Black music, all throughout time. And the beautiful part about this is saying that the power of music can bring your ancestors together. And it's such a beautiful fashion, and they do pay tribute to others, and the significance of having an Irish vampire from Ireland who came over here and immigrated over here, and them showing the Irish music and how in a similar fashion they had the same done to them, in which their music was taken by their oppressors too, and their culture and such, and they were kind of drowned out over in Ireland. I'm not comparing slavery. I'm just saying in general, though, but like the idea of it, and for it to be brought together, and to see this vampire who is often hungry, but now is addicted to the sound. He has this thirst for it. Chris, first give us your rundown on this movie, and let's get into some of our favorite parts of this movie before we move on.
It's a great watch. It's beautifully done. Like every shot that it's chosen a certain way. You mentioned that there was different types of filming done as far as with the IMAX or whatnot, where you go 70 millimeter, 35. You can see that in those wide shots. There's the way they frame a lot of the stuff, the musical tones, the message behind it. I didn't even honestly think of it as a like Dusk Till Dawn type deal, but something felt very familiar about it as I was watching it, as it kept going. And yeah, it's like an old school gangster period piece at the beginning that kind of builds and then, has a twist to the story that it's kind of cool. I like the fact that it wasn't as gory, because for me, the gore sometimes is overdone and not needed. And this one proves that as well to me. It gets the point across. You do see some of it, but there's even points in time where it'll cut scenes to another part before certain things happen, or just as something's happening, like when he starts to hover and levitate or whatnot. I love little touches like that throughout of it. I love how the movie starts, how it starts and how it ends, and you kind of get the whole fill. They do a great job. He's onto something, and I didn't stay to the end credits, so I'm gonna have to go see what's up with that.
Missed a big part of it, for sure. Let's talk about those end credits a little bit, because we didn't really talk about them last time, and I want to get what you guys think about them. So a little bit of spoiler warnings for everybody here, but in the end credits, by the time we defeat Remick, the main vampire, and his vampire, everybody's vampire by that point, except for Sammy and Michael B. Jordan's character of Smoke. They are the final two survivors of the night, and meaning you don't know, and I'm not going to give away too much in the sense that you don't know who was turned, you don't know who died and stuff like that. So go see it for that, because there's a lot of twists and turns to it in that sense. But this is so it gets out, and then the vampires are essentially defeated. You get Sammy going back to where we saw in the beginning of the film. He goes back to his father's church. His father tries to let him go, to make him let go of the guitar that he used to protect himself all night. And I thought the symbolism of that was beautiful, because it cuts to him leaving. He's in the car. He's like, I'm out, which was a big theme of it. And the central theme of the movie is ownership, having ownership of your own life and ownership of your own things, and how in the 1930s, Black people trying to own anything was just an astounding thought back in those days. And this movie is showing that claim and wanting ownership and such, and to see Sammy at the end of it take ownership of his life and where he wanted to go with it, and knowing that his father, who is a pastor, telling him, let go of the guitar, be with God. This man just fought vampires. He just fought vampires all night, and when he tried to use God against them, they were using God too. Like that was one of the deep scenes when Remick goes, they taught me to do that too. And they're all saying the prayer with him, the Lord's Prayer with him. And meaning that my oppressors tried to stomp me down with Christianity too. It's not going to work. You're not going to beat us with this. And then for him to go back and like tell him to get rid of the guitar, and then he chooses the guitar over it. I was like, that's taking your own life in your hands. And I love that. And going with it and not just going with God, essentially, in that sense. But then you get the great Buddy Guy, great blues musician, playing Sammy as an older man in a bar. And who shows up but Stack and Mary? And they're in the 90s. They're talking to Sammy. They're asking him if he finally wants to be turned. But they have this beautiful, like, sort of like talk about like how things went down that night, what that day was. Now, the very end final sequence is Sammy playing. No scars on his face, no nothing. So a lot of people think it took place before that day. Where he's playing a blues song and he's going all in his father's church. And then he looks up. It's no real, like, it's kind of a blank stare, but he looks up at something. What did you guys interpret from that? Because I'll tell you just real quick, I interpret that as like he died. And how we saw with Stack early on when he died, you go to a place of happiness. That to me was him going back to that day.
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
Because you're mentioning that part, like the end part of the movie, before the end credits, I did like that scene, and I like how they talked about how like that was like the best moment of their life before the sun went down. There was that, and then how he kept his promise when he was like, "How come you didn't kill me?" He's like, "I promised my brother I would not kill you unless you wanted me to," pretty much. And I like the I love the dynamic of the twins, because even when they fought, when the whole vampire scene, with that whole thing. They were both. I felt like they were both still holding back. You know what I mean? Because what was it? Stack was the vampire. Stack could have killed Smoke, and he didn't.
I didn't think he ever would. I don't think he could kill his brother if he tried. He was always his protector.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as his strength, not as far as like, as far as him being like, if he wanted to, you know what I mean? But I feel like deep down he didn't want to. He didn't even want him to turn unless he agreed to it. Even though they were fighting and all that other stuff. Yeah. And then we're here where they both end up surviving until a certain point. And again, like the important thing was like, I promised my brother I would not come after you. Yeah. That's huge. And to keep that promise after that, because again, 9 times out of 10, a vampire or monster is not going to keep that promise. But that just shows you like how close those two really were for each other.
Somebody actually pointed out too, it makes sense why the end happens the way it does, because in the end, Smoke is still alive. He gets Sammy out of there. He's still at the juke joint. He knows the KKK members are coming to kill him. Like that was the whole purpose of them selling him this building. They find out overnight through the vampires, nonetheless, to say like, listen, they're coming in the morning to kill you. Just join us, and we got it. We'll take care of it. And I thought that was an interesting element. But then for Smoke, after the vampires are dead, to set up and like, I'm going to take them out. I thought this was like fan service, watching Michael B. Jordan with a Tommy gun, take out all of these KKK members, right? And somebody had pointed out that it's deeper than that. Where were Mary and Stack hiding from the sunlight? And they were probably in the juke joint, and Smoke knew that, and to give them a chance had to kill all of them, all of those KKK members. And I thought that added an extra element of good storytelling to it, because it does make sense that he goes up against everybody. And what did you think about the medicine bag and him finally taking it off, and then like that was it? Like you
better keep that shit on. Why would you do that? You just got through the night after that shit. Your brother was repelled by it. That's enough of a sign for me.
Very fair. But I got the idea of like he was done. His job, he was around. Like he left to protect his brother. you know, he knew like what I drew from that was like he wanted to get out of town early on in their lives, so that way Stack wouldn't get in trouble by being with Mary, a white woman, a white appearing woman. And that's why they wound up leaving. You know, all right, I'll go with you. He was always there to protect. But once his brother changed and he knew, and that was it, and now Annie's gone too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Annie was a great character in this, by the way.
Yeah, she was.
Everybody was.
Yeah, and like a scene that stands out to me too was again once Smoke is killing the Klan members at the end, and he's sitting down before he lights that one up, and he sees his woman and his baby, and like right there, I feel like he was just like, you know what, it's time to go. Like I got nothing else to be here for. My brother's gone, my wife is gone, my child's gone. What the fuck? What else can I do? Why am I here? Why the fuck am I here? And I don't even mean like the S word of him taking himself out, just like that fight, that last fight, he did what he had to do. And now I think things went the way they had to go.
But I think like, for him, that was, and I don't mean to cut you off, but he wanted to because Annie was gone. He left them early on to protect Stack. He left the love of his life after the baby died to protect his brother. Now he didn't have to protect his brother anymore, and he could be with Annie. Yeah, so like I just wanted to jump in on that with you. Like I agree. Like I think that's what it was.
I agree with that 1,000% on that. And one part that I thought was hilarious is when when he's talking to his cousin, he was like, "How come?" He's like, why do you still have that guitar? You got to bury that guitar. He's like, "I can't because it's from so and so." He's like, "Who the fuck told you that?" And it was his brother. He's like, "This is my dad's guitar."
Yeah.
But
he was protecting him with his life too.
it really is a really good movie and a really good story. And I feel like if you're, I won't even say if you're just a horror fan, just a film, just like a really, really big movie fan, I think you would enjoy this movie just because the story, like it's a really good story around the movie. If you just shut up and pay attention to it. And just really enjoy it for what it is, because it's a phenomenal story. It's not super scary. It has gore in it, but it's not super gory. It's just like enough. It's just like enough. I had an excellent time with this movie.
Yeah. The atmosphere, the vibe, the music, it all pulls you in. It's easy to get lost and feel like you're on that dirt road or in that similar setting. You know what I mean?
And honestly, it almost gave me if you've seen the Django, like that feel, especially the end. With killing the Klan, like that part right there, I'm like, oh yeah, loving it.
One thing I do want to talk about is Grace, who's the Asian woman in it.
Yes.
I mean, they did a great job really showing the South in Jim Crow era, and just like how the town had to be even divided. Like this is where the black shoppers had to shop, and this is where the white ones had to shop. And like never the two shall meet. And it was just this. It was always. It did seem very different, very strange. But to see that the bridge between the two was this Asian family who owned both the stores and was making money off of both of them, essentially, like in that world. And then when you comes down time to it, and they're fighting, and she's there with them, and her husband's out saying, like, I know where our daughter is, like, they know where our daughter, and like freaking her out in that sense. I thought it was an interesting element how she was the one that worked against everyone and called them in, invited them in, because the vampires cannot come in unless they're invited, which I thought was a cool concept. And which is not a new concept, but I thought how they played it was a cool concept. It's been tired over time, but they honestly, did well with it.
I think they played it better than a lot of movies because you have it to where not everybody knows that rule, and to where they were already inside as people, and then they go out and it's like, hey, can I come back in there? You got to invite me in. You got to invite me in. And I also, on her part, I understand why, because it's just like, all right. You took the love of my wife. Now you're threatening to go after my daughter. No, fuck it. Come on, bitch. Bring it.
But that's the thing. I think it was even deeper than that, because look what she did when she invited him in. She hit only her husband with the Molotov cocktail and then died with him, making sure he died.
Yeah.
Like burned up with him. That was so, like, she stayed there and let herself burn, making sure he couldn't get back up. So the yin and yang of that, like, as it is, like, and that's not me playing that. Like, that was what the
I know
symbolic
what you mean.
nature of that scene is.
I
is
see
that
what
this-
you did there.
I didn't make that up. That Ryan Coogler put that in there. Like he did that for a reason, but there's also a yin and yang effect between stack and smoke.
Yeah.
You know, like that, and so that's more of a philosophy than I'm calling out Asian culture in this situation. But yes, I do, I do see the correlation. But like, yeah, I do love like, but that's how they died.
Yeah, and it's
know?
such a powerful scene because if you think about it as like a parent, it's like I would do the same thing, no hesitation.
Yeah, but she did that without knowing whether it would work. She didn't know.
Again, though, if it's like, okay, listen, your spouse is, I'm just because vampire, your spouse is a vampire, and they're saying we're gonna go after your child. All right, fuck it, we gotta fight.
See, I took that symbolism of it as sort of these are two people who walk a bridge between two other ethnicities, right? White and black in the South at that time. And they can cross between both. But when ultimately it came down time, she was a source of, she put these black people in trouble by inviting this trouble in.
Yes, I agree with that. But again, I can see where it was just like, you keep mentioning my child. We got to do.
I get why she like. I get the motivation behind it. For me, it was just more along the lines of like, I get the symbolism of it. Like you're going to look out for yours and yours only. Meaning he was the only one she killed, and she allowed herself to die. She, you know, they looked out for theirs and theirs only, but also invited this trouble in for them to deal with on top of it, so she could have that. Again, great. Everything was just sort of great visual representations of all of these little nuances within this film. That was just brilliant. But I mean, everybody's talking about it. Everybody really loved the film. What were some of your favorite scenes? Let's go around the horn before we move on.
I'll say two of them. I'll say the dance scene, like that whole sequence, and I'll say the end scene where he's taking all the members and he sees his I'm gonna say his wife and his child, and just like he's just like, I can go. And then 3 is when you see his brother again at the end, and that whole, you know, the end scene, that whole sequence. Those 3 really stand out because they were just they're real powerful scenes. I mean, you know what? I'll add another one when he's holding his brother in his arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great scenes. What you got, Paul? What's your favorite scenes in the movie?
Well, my favorite scenes it's going to be that opening scene when they're synced up and they're lighting a cigarette, because you guys know I'm a smoker, unfortunately. I thought that scene was epic as shit. Like, then it all lighting it, passing it. I was like, holy shit, that's cool. And then also, I enjoyed the aspect of the vampires being a collective together. So I enjoyed that scene outside where they start singing the Irish music together in sync, and they're all synced up. So that scene, those 2 scenes really stuck out to me in this movie.
Yeah, for sure. What you got, Chris?
The flashback scene where they start talking about how the music can bring the generations from past to future.
Nice.
The end scene with the final fight there. I didn't see the end credits, so if I had to pick one more, it would probably have to be the flash mob. I kind of laughed at it. I was like, really, these fucking guys doing a flash mob? It was weird to see him in a hive mind situation, you know what I mean, for vampires, right. But at the same time, I was like, all right, he's got the time, you know.
I think to me that was I love that the power of that scene, because that is essentially Irish river dancing. Everybody's going to round up and kind of be a part of it, and that's like how it was celebrated back in the day. But I loved how it was his way for me to try and connect with Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try and connect music to music, and what this is, you know, this is what we're about, and like you're about the same thing, you know, like, and try and lure in that way. And the music being such a pivotal part to all this, I thought that was a beautiful sequence. So, but what were you gonna say,
did you get up and start doing your Irish dances when they were dancing and singing?
No, I
sure
can't.
Did.
The theater will not allow me to create any more earthquakes.
You gotta see Mick do the river dance. It's majestic.
I want to see it. You just gotta stand in the back because you're too damn tall. People, Mick could be in the very front, blocking the whole screen.
Oh, the number of craters in the roof of our old apartment from him like hopping up and down. Yeah.
There was at one point where my legs just dangled in the apartment below us. They were not fans of it. It's like the money pit where I'm just kind of like,
Oh, shit.
And I'm still Irish river dancing and kicking him in the head by accident.
That's what's up.
From Irish roots, too.
Listen, this was such a great movie. I think everybody should go check it out. We reviewed it, so we just wanted to get a little more in depth with it. But we've been talking a lot about that ending.
Oh,
I think I'm going to jump straight in and just get to our top 5 countdowns.
God damn it. Of course, you had Fast and Furious.
I love
there.
that background.
Piece of shit.
R.I.P. to the great.
Top 5 countdown movie endings. Oh yeah. So we're just gonna go around the horn for this one. We're gonna start with our good old number 5. We're gonna kick it off with Paul. Paul, what you got? What's your number 5 great movie ending?
Sound of Music, because they got away from the damn Nazis. Perfect fucking ending.
Boom.
If anybody was gonna get micked, it's the person.
Listen, you can't argue that.
I can argue that. First of all, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, both of you. You only put that in there. You only say the Sound of Music to get me riled
I didn't
up.
do it.
He did.
You've
not
done
my
that
Mick.
before.
It's not my number 5, Mick. Promise.
Hang on, I
Fast
gotta
and Furious.
change my number 5. Hang on.
Me too. I got to change my number 5 as well.
All right. I'm
Go to
going
Chris.
on-
Thanks,
if I
Paul.
hear Sound of Music one more time, I'm ending the show.
My actual number 5 was Late Night with the Devil. And I know you guys didn't all care for that ending, but I liked
I
it.
did. I thought that was a good ending, personally.
Sturdy that didn't like it, right? Who didn't like it? Was
Dan, I don't think liked it.
Dan. But
One
I
of
know
us.
me and Dan look alike. You get us mixed up a lot, Paul, but it wasn't me.
It's true. They are this. They are the smoke and stack of
Yeah.
Scene Snobs.
Yeah.
And Dan, feel better, my friend.
Oh, of course,
He's
of
been
course.
through his stuff recently, his medical stuff. So we love you. We appreciate you. But okay, well, fucking you went. So let's go, you, Chris. What do you got next?
For number 5, I have Strangers or The Strangers, the movie
Mhm.
with the people in the mask in the woods and stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Man, that movie, the beginning to end, you're in it, but at the same time, it messes you up. Why are you doing this? You were home.
Yep.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely agree. That's such a great ending. What you got for me, Sturdy Bird?
Sinister.
Good ending.
Just how they come and get the kids again, and Ethan Hawke's character gets knocked off, which one of my favorite actors.
Remember which way we go.
But just like how that whole sequence went, then you see what's it, Bagul or whatever. I'm like, that was dope. And then the kids turn their heads to the side, and you see him holding his daughter. Loved it. Loved
That's
it.
awesome. That's a good, both good choices. All good choices, except for Sound of Music. But Roy, what you got? What's your number 5?
I kind of have a tentative in no certain order except for the top 2. But number 5, I got 7.
nice.
Very nice. All right, so I'm going next, and because you said 7 is my number 5 as well.
Nice.
The only murder you see on screen. Keep that in mind. For a movie about murder, it is the only actual murder you see on screen, and it's the cop doing it. And I can say that because the movie's almost 30 years old. So I don't care. But yeah, 7 has one of the best endings. Ironic ending, beautiful ending for a thriller, for sure. Great choices. Except for the Sound of Music. Number 4. I'm never going to give you
my
credit
number
on the
4
Sound of
now,
Music.
too.
I'm never going to give that credit to any one of you about
I
the Sound
will.
of Music. That movie, first of all, the ending is the best part of the movie, and it shouldn't be. Never mind. I knew you were going to. All right, number 4 on the list. So, what you got for me, Paul? I swear to God, if you say
I
Sound
said nope. No.
Oh, okay,
It was-
no works. Anything but Sound of Music works. Or English Patient. Don't say that either. That's
Okay.
just-
That, no, see,
Yeah,
that's a
nope. I love Nope because once you realize the ship is the alien, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Like I didn't even
yeah.
put the 2 and 2 together, and
And
I
showing
love
it,
Nope.
They showed
Fuck,
that
man.
too. Oh, that's such a good movie. Such a good movie for sure.
thank you, Jordan Peele.
Chris, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
I like
You
that
get
one.
the epic battle of everybody at the end versus Davy Jones in the big whirlpool. You get Celeste coming out of her bound human form, or Calypso. Yeah, and then it's the climactic end where Orlando Bloom's character Will Turner takes over the ship and everything for that Davy Jones was manning.
I like it. That's a good pick. I like that. Sturdy, what you got for number 4?
The original Halloween. Just the whole concept of Mike, you go the whole look there and he's gone, just because of what that's done in horror from 78 and on. Of course, it gets exaggerated and all that stuff, but that I think that was a dope trope, especially like in the slasher realm.
I dig it.
But,
It's good
he's
choice.
gone, he's dead, he's gone, and then you go and then he's not. Or you think he's gone, and then you look, he's actually gone. You think he's dead, but he's gone. He
He's there. He's terrorizing Dana Carvey around Haddonfield.
got right back in that damn station wagon, went and got him a burger, and went back home.
No, he didn't. He didn't go back home.
The thing is, Mick, he
There's
went
a
to go
whole
get
sequel.
something. When he left, he went to go get something to eat. They came there looking for him. Then he went after he got something to eat, took a dump, went to the movies. he went back home.
First and foremost, that's not true.
Were
And
you there?
2 different timelines. Technically, 3. Because in the 2018 timeline, he didn't leave. He left,
Not
but he was
yet.
still there.
Not yet.
Yeah, he went to exactly. He had to go eat. You got to eat. You can't just be, slinging that knife around without eating something. You got to get some nourishment, Mick.
That is true. He did take a knife that made a sandwich recently in the second one, so that's okay. So I'll give it to you a little bit. Not much. Roy, what's your 4?
Sorry there. I thought I was muted. Kids are knocking on the door. I have The Thing.
Get the fuck out of here, kids.
Great. The Thing did not make it on my list.
That surprises me.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was it?
It's
The Thing?
The Thing from 1982. There's a reason, Paul. I knew it was going to end up on somebody's list here, so I purposely left it off. It is one of the best endings of all time, but it is one that is like I wanted to shine a light on some of my favorites. That's why I went with the ones I went with. Number 4 is Zodiac. I think that's a wonderfully done ending. Every aspect, the beats they hit on, Fincher's just a genius, man. So that's why it is my number 4. I think that's a great ending. Let's go on to number 3. Paul, what you got for 3?
The movie The Fountain.
Oh, wow. That's a deep one, too.
Mm-hmm. I really love that one.
Go check that out. Yeah, that's a good one.
Writing
Yeah.
it down.
Chris, what you got for number 3?
My number 3. Well, the movie with that you used at the beginning of the show with Ryan Gosling, that he's the stunt guy. It's called Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I mean, it's epic. It's fucking genius. It is
epic.
them filming a movie, filming an action scene as they're it's fucking phenomenal.
I love that movie, and I think Roy can help me with this one. On sets like that, you do quote movies.
It was fun watching it with my wife.
Yeah, you do
Or
get that
something
sense.
like that, and she was loving the whole thing because it was hey, they made a movie about my life.
Yeah, and that's her. That's right up there. The woman that's calling in the movie, all of all right, we're ready for explosive. That's what his wife does.
Okay.
So even watching that, dude, Roy, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, oh man, this character reminds me of this person. This character reminds me of this person. There was one in there that reminded me of you. I was just like, that movie is such a fun filmmaker movie.
Can that be our homework this week, to rewatch that movie and figure out who you think Roy is in that movie? Now I kind of want to. Now I want to kind of figure it out.
I gotta watch it, figure out what you think.
Oh, I know, dude. You don't know. You don't know.
I'd have to watch it again. I wasn't watching with that in mind.
All right. Yes. Bank on it. Be here next week, Roy. We're gonna rewatch The Fall Guy and figure out which character I think Roy is. And I know the second he watches it, and watch the regular version, because there are two versions. The other one's pretty good, but like the one that came out in theaters, watch that version because I know it's in there. How do you not know? How can you not think about this?
Well,
right?
To be honest, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched parts of it.
All right, fair.
Particularly the entire
because there's
finale.
one line in that movie where I was like, "That's Joe. That's 100% Joe. That's what Joe would say. That's what Joe would be saying, and he'd be saying it that way. He would be bitching to the AD like, "This is stupid. I could just do this." And like I'm sitting there watching it, and like I'm watching the AD freak out and scream. Like he's like screaming at one point, and I'm like, and like as he's freaking out, I'm like, I could see like Mel having a headache because of this guy. You know, like or stuff like that. Like there's so many people. Like, and when we get into it, we'll do that next week and we'll talk about it because there are a lot of people we know from college and everything that, man, they do those jobs and you're just like, oh, it's like this is a tough job. Anyway, now I'm getting them off filmmaking shit. So, Fall Guy, good one. Chris, that was you. So Sturdy, what do you got?
Honestly, I pick Sinners. I love the way that movie ended. I love the whole sequence. I'll go from the revenge aspect all the way till the end credits. That whole sequence was just like you kind of seen how that story ended.
Yeah,
you got to see how that story ended, and kind of just okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Agreed, 100%. And what do you got for me, Roy? What's your number 3?
Fight Club.
Really? I don't like that movie in general, but that is a good ending. That is a solid ending. All right, Project Mayhem in the movie is a good idea to end that movie.
Let's do it right now. Let's set it up.
No.
I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
All right.
I got you, Roy.
We won't do it right now. Okay.
Yes.
We will not.
One of my reviews agreed Sinners was great. She says she loved it as well.
Nice. Thank you for watching.
Oh yeah, my wife loved Sinners. Loved Sinners. So did actually my brother and my sister did as well.
I didn't take my wife to see it because the last thing I need is for my wife to see 2 Michael B. Jordans in a movie.
Even I was like,
what?
I was looking
yeah. Like I'm clutching my pearls for a second.
I was looking for some pearls to clutch. Oh my!
So what you guys are saying? If he'd have took his shirt off, he would have lost it.
When Haley Steinfeld, when she came out and said that
more.
shit to him, I was like, oh my god.
First of all, I'm telling you right now. In that situation, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna fuck it.
No, first of all Haley
Concrete,
Steinfeld taught us in that movie was what you need to say to Michael B. Jordan to get him. So you got to say to him. So now we have the pickup line when we meet him. Should be like,
yeah.
That'll go over well.
He'll just beat the shit out of us, Creed style. Like he's gonna.
I was gonna say he's gonna jump right back into the Creed.
And I'm not gonna. You gonna sue him? Hell no, I ain't gonna sue him. He touched me.
Speaking of sexy, though, Fight Club was our last pick by Roy. My number 3 is Chinatown, a wildly famous ending where Roman Polanski even took the film reel hostage so they would not change it to a brighter ending.
Wow.
Yeah, and it paid off. Again, I don't mind spoiling it. I'm not going to here, but forget about it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Goes down one of the greatest lines in movie history, and for the reason with how that movie turns out, that ending is epic and perfect. I loved it. So, all right, what's the next one, Paul? What you got for number dose?
I know it sounds kind of cheap and it's gonna sound a little cheesy, but I went with 6 Cents. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I really love that ending.
I don't think it's cheesy. It's famous for its ending. Right.
I just feel I don't know. I wish like I tell Sam all the time, I'm like, if I get Alzheimer's, start losing my mind, just put that movie on every day so I can be amazed. Like honestly. Like hand of God. The 6th Sense.
Oh, okay.
I think Unbreakable. Personally.
Here's my honorable mention. That and Unbreakable were kind of like my honorable mentions.
Heck yeah.
You know what it is? I think once you found out the ending of for me, anyway, just I'm only speaking for me, of The Sixth Sense, because I know a lot of people are really truly astounded by it, and it is a good, solid movie, solid ending. But I thought Unbreakable, for some reason, did that twist better because it came out after it didn't land as hard, because you were kind of expecting something from him. I did like that idea that like he was the villain, he was the one causing it. With The Sixth Sense, still brilliant though. Like that's a solid pick for an ending. Chris, what you got for number 2?
This one's tugs at the heartstrings. It's from Disney. Up. The ending to Up. That thing is God, that whole movie, man. I'm gonna be that old man. I'm gonna be that old man one day. I know it. And then fuck.
Can I be
You're
your Boy
crying,
Scout?
you're crying.
Huh?
I'll be your Boy Scout.
I'm
You
going
gotta
to
be
say
the
it
voice.
right now, Chris.
Your wilderness ranger.
Yeah.
Your door.
I would actually, that is a great one because that's a movie like with that heartfelt ending like that. It starts out as such like great comedy, and then it goes like that first like 5 minutes of the movie is some of the funniest I've ever seen, and then you get into the ending, and it's just so heartfelt. So good pick. I know Roy's wheels are turning, and it's just like, wait, the first 5 minutes of the movie, the wife dies.
Look,
I know what I
that,
meant.
that whole sequence with no dialogue, it's like 10 minutes. It's like 10 or 15 minutes long. It's pretty long.
I almost walked out because it made me too sad. I was like, I came here to watch a happy movie. I was like, fuck this.
Sturdy Sister and I were cackling in the theater for that one.
She probably
Laughing out
was.
loud.
No, I haven't seen that movie yet.
Whoa.
I did put it on the wheel though for our decades wheel. So
Heck yeah.
for
cry
popcorn and
again?
wine. So
Great.
yeah,
It's like either if I need a good cry, I'll watch Field of Dreams to realize I never had the catch, and I'm never gonna. I'll watch Up to realize that life is finite and it's gonna crush me one day, or I'll put on Bluey because why wouldn't I put on Bluey? Because every episode makes you cry. It's a true story. Good luck. And that's now you know that.
Jesus. It's a lot to unpack. Let me write that down.
Dude, if you want to become a better person, more in touch with your feelings, watch Ted Lasso. Watch Bluey. They will make you want to be a better person all around. And you can laugh about it if you want. I watch Bluey unironically if it's on TV. I put it on. It's great. Teaches great things. Teaches me how to be a better parent, better husband, better friend. All 9 yards. True
My
good
kids
life
love-
lessons.
My kids love Bluey, and
Tell me you don't love Bluey.
I can't.
No, Roy. You tell. I know you.
Oh.
I know you can't. But like, Roy, tell me you don't love Bluey.
What do you mean? Tell me what?
You don't love
I
Bluey.
do love Bluey.
You said the kids love it. Don't try to pawn it
What I
off.
think is hilarious is all of the Australian lingo that my daughter's picking up.
Yeah.
And we went on a little hike with her Girl Scout troop earlier this week, and she had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, well, here we go. First time, you're gonna go behind the tree over here. And she's like, oh, am I gonna have a bush wee?
Oh.
It really does.
Get that from Bluey? I'm like, yeah. Like, okay.
I love it. That's so great. Great. And the movie's coming, so we'll be reviewing that as well.
There's
I'm gonna
be
make
Bluey
Paul
movie.
watch it.
That's fine. I'll watch anything.
That's fair. You'll love it.
My kid's gonna lose her shit. When I tell her that.
Dude, the Bluey Lego set's coming out too in June.
Oh, jeez.
But the only Lego set I'm holding on for is the Enterprise D coming out Black Friday.
Speaking of Lego sets, so I got into Legos. Finally, I got my first Lego set. It just came yesterday.
No. Save it. Let's finish the show with the Lego talk because I want to talk more about that. Let's get through 2, and you're up, sir.
My number 2 is Django Unchained. Again, I love that revenge scene at the end. I mean, it's just we need him now. We could use him. We could use Sinners, and we can use the next one, my number 1 as well, which we'll get to.
Perfect. I love that answer. What do you got for me, Roy? What's your number 2?
I have Inception.
Yeah.
Let's go. What do you subscribe to? Is he still in or no?
I Well, I kind of the way I look at it is I accept the interpretation that it doesn't matter, that he is now in a place where he's whole and he feels satisfied with. I do think that it really happened, that he's really out, that it really, like, he's really out of it. But I like the interpretation where it doesn't matter if he's in the dream world and he's with his kids for the rest of his consciousness existence, or whether he's in there in the real world, it doesn't matter. He's finally gotten to a place where he can be happy. But I do think that he really got there.
I hope it's a dream sequence where they're just monsters and he has to run for the rest of his life.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Somehow.
It'd be great if they turn around and they're vampires and it's like, and he just pulls out a shotgun. He's like, shh, it's hunting season. And that's how it ends. The whole movie we watched is
Inception 2 is like Dusk Till Dawn.
it's like 30 Rock with Bitch Hunter.
Paul's head hurts.
Down the mimosas, bitches.
Who's ready for mimosas, bitches? It's Will Ferrell's a genius.
And he's a Kings fan.
Oh God, you and the Kings. Well, anyway, my number 2 is Back to the Future. I love that ending. That entire sequence, that whole clock tower sequence from the time Marty shows up. I mean, and even before then, the whole dance, the whole movie is great. But I'm talking about just that end sequence where he's got to get back home, because I consider the next morning sort of the stinger, which is also a great ending. And it was a gag ending that led to 2 more movies, which I thought was great. But that end sequence is still so thrilling to me. I can still watch and hope he gets home. You know, and it's not easy for movies to do that for me anymore. All right, let's go to number 1 in our final for the night. Paul, what you got for number 1?
Well, we all know I worked for circus, so I had to go with Water for Elephants.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
Very nice.
Seen that, but I want to do it again.
If you were looking for a good circus movie, watch Octopussy. Don't laugh at the name. It's a real name.
I didn't say anything. I laughed because Roy laughed.
You said pushy.
There it is. God damn it.
Do it like Meatwad.
Oh, you slap person.
Oh, shit.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love it. So.
Oh, it's why we're all here.
All right, let's move on. Good one. All right, number 1, Chris, what you got?
All right, so it's a tie for my number 1. 2 very different reasons. Batman 89.
Love it.
Because it's the best live action rendition of the imagery of Batman from the comics, leering over Gotham with the music and the orchestra going. It was an awesome ending. I love that fucking ending.
Nice.
I love that movie.
And the other tie was, what is Fast 7, the last one where Mr. Paul Walker was, because man, that damn song, and that was the year my dad passed away too. I still can't hear that song all the time. But Paul Walker, man, R.I.P., bro. I was at work and I put up my desktop background as a different picture of Paul Walker every day the week he died, and the last day it was him under a tree in Africa holding a cheetah. It was hilarious.
He did love his animals.
Yeah.
He did participate in Shark Week a few times. So
I
good for him.
Never mind. Different kind of Shark Week.
Oh,
I can't believe it's been
leave
like
it alone,
10 years.
Paul.
Crazy.
I'm fine. I just think it's ironic he died in a car crash.
Where he wasn't driving.
Yeah, and he wasn't even
Car crash. Still drive.
But he wasn't driving. Like, he was the quintessential star and driver of those movies, and he wasn't driving. Like, you're right. Like, I'm just adding to that irony.
Capable of driving, like he was fully capable. He had racing license. Yeah, it just errors. Things happen.
Yeah.
Old errors.
That is some irony. You are correct, sir.
Good choices, Chris. I respect those are your choices for number 1.
I like that you just like that. That was the nicest way to say dog shit choices.
Well, Batman was awesome. I'll agree with you on that. That's a great one.
You don't like the Fate? Sturdy, what's your number one, man?
My number one is I Saw the Devil.
Okay. Good movie.
And that revenge scene at the end is my favorite revenge movie of all time. If you haven't seen it, you guys should definitely check it out, because it's just like what that man does throughout that movie. Yeah, I get it. And then the ultimate revenge, which again, I don't want to spoil. I already did on my podcast, but I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen it. The ultimate revenge at oh my God, the end of that movie, I'm just like, oh shit. Yo, I'm not beefing with this dude. I know he's just an actor, but fuck that. No.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like,
from the minds.
Nicolas Cage did that. Nah, fuck that. I'll still beef with him. Fuck Nicolas Cage. But that seriously, that ending right there was just epic. And you understand it.
True. Roy, what you got number one?
I got Shawshank Redemption.
Good one.
Okay.
Solid one. Yeah, that's the only way that movie needs to end. Nobody needs to die in prison in that one. Except Brooks. He was the only one that wanted it.
Yeah.
He didn't even get it.
I mean, it's just like everything about it. It's just like it is all so set up, like everything pays off. But it's like you don't see it as things getting set up. It's just that you see a good story and then everything comes together at the end, and it's just perfect. I really.
And I love that he's free.
Mm-hmm. It's like the happiest ending that could be possible out of such a hellish life that these guys go through, and
So
it's perfect.
crazy. I can think of some others that I would like to be freed from a prison right now. So, anyway, my number one, and a movie that it's a foreign film. I think everybody should check out. This is a very important film in my life, especially for filmmaking. It's Cinema Paradiso. It's an Italian film. And if you haven't had a chance to watch this, it's an amazingly beautiful film and a famous classic film out of Italy, where a young boy named Salvatore befriends a projectionist named, I think it was Alfredo. It's been a long time since I watched the movie, but I think his name was Alfredo. And like Alfredo teaches him through movies about life and shares his experiences and his wisdom with him. And all through his love of movies and showing him all these different movies. And one of the beautiful themes in that movie is in the 40s, 50s, so they would cut out like the kissing scenes in movies because they, especially in Italy and at that time with World War II coming, the 30s and such, like it just, they didn't have it. So he would cut all these clips like he's supposed to, and then he would have his own, kind of put them off to the side. And he always felt bad about doing that as a projectionist of this theater, the Cinema Paradiso. He always felt bad about doing that because he felt like he was taking away from the thing that he loves. He's taking this beautiful imagery about love out of this movie, and love is something that is an important feature in movies, right? Mm-hmm. So when you get to the end of this film, and Salvatore is back, he's a grown man now. He's seen the war. He's a filmmaker. He followed his dream. And he goes back for Alfredo's funeral, and they're knocking down the Cinema Paradiso, and he's left a couple of things from Alfredo. One of them is a film reel, and the end of the movie is him watching it, and it's all of those scenes that were cut out of the movies. And as he's watching it, all the love he's felt in his life from his family, from Alfredo, from growing up, all these memories start to come back. And it's the power of what film can bring in terms of memories and what it does to us. And it's just, as a filmmaker, as somebody who loves movies as much as I do, this is one of the quintessential endings in a movie, in my opinion. So absolutely loved it. But yeah, that's my choices for these wonderful films. And that's everybody's choices. I want to thank you guys for doing that. And before we move on, you guys go over there real quick, because we're going to go to Mick's movie pick from 1986. It's musical month here, April. So I went with one that I think you'll really enjoy. Little Shop of Horrors. The remake, of course, of the Roger Corman film from 1960. 1986 version has Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, and tons more. And it is about a giant killer plant, Venus flytrap plant that has a taste for blood. It's a great movie, great musical, just a really fun watch. If you like cult films, if you like horror films, things like that, this is right up your alley. We've done this movie. I don't know who just said it was okay. I'm gonna have to kill them, but I'm kidding, of course. But no, it's a great movie. I love this movie so much, and it's so well acted, so well put together. And if you can find it online, and I think it is up on YouTube, after you watch it, check out the alternate ending. I think that's worth seeing as well. If you guys are interested in seeing this movie, go check it out. But we also did this week a classic film review with a little more information you can learn about the movie. Go check it out on the Scene Snobs channel. And if you're also interested, go check out a new Does It Suck? Streets of Fire, baby. I love Streets of Fire. If you haven't seen it, go check that out as well. But guys, it is time for us to get going.
Hold up.
But before we, I was going to let you.
I'm just making sure. I thought you forgot about me.
I did not. I did not forget. I'm here for it. Before we go, Sturdy wants to talk about Legos, and I'm for it. So let's talk about some Legos. I already said I want to get the D. What do you want to get, Sturdy?
I definitely don't want the D, but
Sturdy, do you want the D too?
No, thank you. But
Sturdy wants that D.
So like I started buying my wife Legos because she wanted to like really get into them. So I started buying her a few like Harry Potter and all that stuff.
Nice.
And then I was just like, you know what? I kind of miss using my brain more instead of doing, the contents of his film. It's like I want to use my brain more and putting things together, working my hands a little bit. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a Lego set. And I had to start with a car. I had to start with a muscle car. I had to start with one of my favorite cars. Got the 69 Camaro. I had to get that. I had to order the lights with it. So that's gonna be my first Lego project. I don't know if it's my first Lego project ever, because I don't know if I had Legos as a kid. I probably had like the ghetto stuff, like the big blocks, like
Mega blocks.
Mega blocks.
Mega
Yes,
block.
mega blocks.
Yeah.
Came on like the yellow bag or some shit.
Yes.
But no, like it's I'm glad that I'm getting into it. And it's a cool thing, and it's something to kind of get away from the electronics, the TV, and all that shit. Throw some music on and just put some Legos together.
It is fun. I used to hate doing Legos. Like it was just something that never really enjoyed. But my kids have definitely brought like a resurgence into it. One I really enjoyed that my son got for his birthday one year was the Indiana Jones.
Nice.
It's like this 3-piece set of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wide, and it took forever to put that together. And I remember
From Raiders?
From Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, I got that one upstairs.
It's a good one, man, and like it has all the working parts and such to it. And like it was for his birthday, so we got it for him. And like his birthday party was coming up in a few days, and he really wanted it done so his friends could see it. And I remember like it was nowhere near done. And I stayed up the entire night before just trying to finish the damn thing. And I'm like, my stupid fat fingers. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. My eyes don't work. And my fingers don't work. So needless to say, don't bring sweatshops here because I will not be a good employee.
Oh, it would be terrible.
But I do agree. Legos are a fun therapeutic sort of hangout.
They really are. They really are. And then just like, because I when I was younger, I used to like doing like model cars and stuff, which was always fun. I started with the plastic ones, but I realized like I'm terrible at painting. Like this just looks like garbage. So I'm gonna get the metal ones that are already painted, slap them things together, and they're gonna look nice, look cool. Plus the metal looks cooler anyway, to an extent. But I'm just it's fun. And I remember like back in I think it was middle school. Yeah, it was middle school. I think it was like for technology, we were like using Connects. Remember the Connects things from back in the day?
No, I went to Catholic school, so our idea of technology class was like building palm crosses.
Building crucifixes and
popsicle sticks. Getting hit by nuns was our Lego set.
Yeah, with the ruler that you had to make yourself.
I was gonna say he had to whittle his own ruler to get beat with it.
My favorite part about that new EO that was signed, where it was like bringing back discipline to schools, was like, try it.
I'm telling you right now. Listen,
the parents aren't the same as they used to be.
No. Fuck that. The kids are not this. These kids are different. Like teachers. I'm telling you right now. If they say it's okay, don't do it because those kids are gonna fuck you up.
Yep.
You're gonna get jumped. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. You're gonna get jumped. People aren't gonna be playing. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was in school and I seen a teacher putting his hands on one of my friends, I'm jumping in. We're fighting. And you're gonna get jumped. Like, that's how kids are gonna be nowadays. And honestly, that's how a lot of parents are. Well, you did what? All right.
I think most teachers wouldn't put up with that. They wouldn't.
No, and I was telling my wife that too, because she got a little nervous when she heard that, and she's like, "What if they hit one of our kids?" I was like, first of all, no, I don't care what EO is signed.
My kids have had. I wouldn't ever think for a second that they would even entertain the notion that they would.
I don't believe that the educators of not everywhere. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of educators that are people, and they subscribe to certain thoughts and feelings and such. And I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or whatever. If it hits a kid, I think it's wrong. But it comes down to, I think, the educators of today. Now, are they tired? Are they dealing with a lot of shit? Are they going? But they're putting up with tons and tons of shit already. And they're not hitting or fighting or doing that. Like, I don't think it's not that it's a point of weakness. If anything, I think it's a point of strength to say, I'm not doing this. This isn't who I am. Like, I think not hitting somebody is a stronger thing than hitting somebody, losing that control. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you could. I don't believe any of the teachers in my kids' school would do that. Also, they know who I am. And like, if you think Frank Castle's bad, hit my kid. Like, it's like there is punishment, like, but it's coming towards you. Like, if my kid's acting out of sorts, let's have a meeting. Let's get it in control. I'm on your side. I'm all for your side if my kid's acting out of sorts. But I don't put my hand on my kid. You're not gonna.
Oh, fuck no.
Like, that shit ain't gonna happen in my watch. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and ain't happening to my kids. Okay? You want a trauma dump, bring it this way. That's that's all the trauma you'll need.
I mean, it's like I said, it would be a very, very dangerous precedent. And I mean, we already don't have gun control, and we already have gun issues in school, and I'm not trying to make it be funny about it. But I can see it if a teacher put their hands on a student, a kid bringing a gun to school the next day or the day after. I mean, they do it. I mean, there's times where they do it from other children messing with. I'm not saying that the teacher would be bullying them, but just in the sense of maybe even the fact of that embarrassment. Okay.
Yeah, the conversation was already had about a year or two ago about teachers carrying in the classroom.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, it's listen, it's extreme, but like that's the one thing. Like, when I see stuff like that signed, it's just kind of like you think that there's no decency in humanity, and I don't believe that. I don't believe teachers are going out and gonna do that. I don't believe you're gonna be an authoritarian in the United States of America. You can try, but go ahead. It's the United States of America. We've grown up with freedom and the idea of freedom in the most beautiful fashion our whole lives. Generations upon generations have grown up with this idea of, like, America's free, right? Now, I'm not saying that's always been the case for everybody living in it, but like, and I'm not trying to minimize that in any way for anybody else, but like, try taking it away now.
Fair.
And try being a fucking dullard, fat fuck who's too stupid for your own good and doing that. Good luck. It's not going to happen. You're going to push too hard, and then you're going to push the wrong people at the wrong time, and then you're going to have a lot of fucking people who are pissed off.
I just don't understand how do we? Okay, did everybody forget how this nation even pretty much started? Hello.
All right, calm down. Nobody's throwing the tea out anymore.
What tea?
That's a hot commodity. Tariff shit. We're not getting rid of the tea.
Yeah, I like my sweet tea, Chris. Leave it alone.
I'm gonna go upstairs and just throw my jugs of lemonade tea into the pool. I don't even own a pool. I'm just gonna throw him in somebody else's pool.
I'm so lost. Why are we talking about tea?
Boston Tea Party.
Tea Party.
Oh, I was talking about the whole fact of, oppression and taxes and doing things that nobody wanted actually done, and then them uprising to actually take over and push you out, and then, call it a nation of our own. Well, you don't think history can repeat itself?
I'm
You know
not
what I mean?
saying that that's not correct. I'm just saying we said the same thing.
They're just gonna have to keep watching The Simpsons for all their predictions.
Yes, that's true. We'll see once they really predict something. Once they predict the funeral, I'll know I can do a dance. I'll do the jig that day.
Okay.
That's the day I'll do the jig, and I will river dance my heart out.
Hell yeah.
And I'm not saying whose funeral.
At the very least, do it in a lab so we can see it if you don't put it out there for the world.
I might.
It
I'll
could be
sing
the new opening cut.
The new opening
Poor
cut.
Dan. The poor
Right
Dan just
before
eating
Dan.
it on that table.
It's just me river dancing, and it's just like, God damn, this was the best day.
No, what you got to do is you have you river dancing on one side, then Dan just repeatedly going through the table.
Over.
That's his celebration.
I love it. But that is another episode. Oh, damn, another hour and 46-minute episode. Although I had fun. Get to hang out with my friends on a Friday night. Get to talk about some shit. Get into it. Chris knows about the Boston Tea Party now. I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming out. Hopefully next week we can watch The Fall Guy and do what we were talking about, because I don't have any topics lined up. So thanks, Roy. You gave me an idea, and I appreciate you for it, bud. And thank you. Oh no, that was Paul's idea. So I'm not even going to give Roy the credit. You get no.
I'm still going to take credit.
I appreciate it. I respect that, Roy. Absolutely. I didn't even try to stop it either. I was just like, all right, well.
No, that was Paul's idea. Yeah, so we'll do that, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll have a good time. But until then, Paul, you got anything you want to say before we go?
You guys go have fun in theater, make some memories. It's warming up. Pull the grill out, have some fun. Do something good. Keep watching movies and all that good stuff.
And drink your tea.
Yeah. Don't waste sweet tea.
You
can dump unsweet tea if you're going to dump any unsweet.
I think sweet tea is dog shit.
Oh,
I think it's just brown sugary water.
That's what I like.
I like.
Yeah.
I want to hurt my teeth. I want to take a sip and be like, ow, but it's good.
I like my northern iced tea where there's so much sugar.
I'm sorry, Mick. I can't do this again.
You're out.
It's gonna work out.
First of all, you're from Minnesota. You didn't fall in love with it until college. I don't even want to hear it. And besides all that, so like every day I have this talk. She's like, "You want some?" And I'm just like, "No, it's terrible.
It's so good."
Tea that you cook on the goddamn thing. The tea I get is called that instant stuff. It's basically it's
with stevia. Not even real sugar, just stevia type shit.
No,
right.
Spend the money on stevia. Are you kidding me?
That's what it tastes like.
I go and I get the generic iced tea mix from the freaking store, and I make it in a pitcher filled with water. And you know why I do that? Because that's the way it was meant to be. It was meant to be so sweet, your teeth rot out of your head. It's meant to be bad for you in all the ways that RFK Jr. hates. It's the perfect tea. I don't want any of that crappy sweet tea logic that you guys are throwing my way.
Time out.
I want the terrible stuff that's basically Kool-Aid but says iced tea on it.
Nah, you wipe back to front. It's all good, man.
How are you going to see the actual
First of all,
original
I do
thing
wipe
that's
back
made with natural ingredients is not the way it was intended to be, but a processed packaged sugar mix?
Listen, I'm arguing about back to front now. We're on to a different thing here. you don't get to bring it back to tea now. I have something I want to say. And back to front, I don't have a vagina, so eat a dick. I can back to front if I want to. I'm not getting that old what do they call it? The fucking
You have an itchy taint there, bro.
Yeah. You're gonna get a rash, but that's all right.
What are you talking about? Wait, when you write back to front, where do you end up? Where do you end up?
With dude wipes, not a sponsor.
I
but
don't
can be.
wipe back from front, so I don't know.
Okay, if you were to, where do you end up?
You're the one who does it. You have to tell us.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
You
how
end up
far
in
do
your
you go?
ass.
You go all the way up
You
to
end
the
up in
head?
your ass.
Like,
You're not
you got
touching
to
your
hit
dick
the
at all.
berries?
It's not
Like,
touching your. Well, it might be touching little nuts. My nuts hang though, so I don't even get to the taint. I know how to wipe. All right, I take care of it. It's clean.
Yeah, but
all
you're
I
supposed to wipe
picture is
front to
nuts
back.
hanging from a pickup truck.
You don't have to. You're supposed to wipe front to back if you're a woman, because if it gets in your vagina, you get a what the hell is that called?
It's a bacterial infection.
They say
infection.
you don't wipe front to back.
infection.
Nobody wants to eat shit.
Dude, that's why you don't do it. That's why when you wipe like babies who are girls, I have nieces, so shut up. But if you wipe from front to back so they don't get the UTIs. I'm not wrong, that's real. But boys don't get UTIs from wiping.
Yeah, but you
You
gotta
can get dookie,
wipe
you can get
away.
dookie balls. You don't want dookie
You don't,
balls.
what are you wiping away from? Up the back?
I like to wipe
You got
towards
to-
and like pinch.
You're
You know,
insane.
you
You're
You
first
get
of all,
the right spot.
you have to.
Focus it.
You're a girl dad. I'm a boy
Yeah.
dad. Have you ever had a baby shit up their back?
But I am myself a boy.
You okay, Paul?
Wipe that.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's the way you wipe. That's the way you wipe. If you wipe wrong, that's your problem. I like to get it all. I like to see, pushing away doesn't get anything. Scooping it out gets it. All right.
It's a good thing I'm a dude, so I can get that residue right in my crotch.
I just say
You gotta
fuck it,
get
take
it
a
all
shower. Whatever,
If I was a
man.
girl,
That's a
I
good
wouldn't.
idea too. I can't argue with the shower. I do like a good shower, but I gotta wipe before I'm not gonna.
Well,
wipe.
yeah, you can't just.
Every house has a bidet.
2025. Any adult should be using wipes. I don't care if you're male or female. Okay, dude wipes, not a
Wet
sponsor.
wipes.
Can be. I love your shea butter ones, and I like your Cool Mint ones. You heard?
The
Cool Mint ones are pretty money.
Yeah, it feels nice. And it
Oh,
smells
and you know what? It's even nicer when you wipe from back to front. Go try it. At least try it before you argue with me.
good. Why
I'm
would I
surprised
do
you
that?
don't just stick your finger through the middle and then just.
Tell me now. What does it make you? What does it make you? Lame? A woman?
What?
Gay? What?
No, I didn't say
I
that.
want to know.
It
I want to know
leaves
the
shit
level I
in
am
the
from
taint,
wiping
bro.
back to front. Because if for some reason wiping back to front makes me gay, I got to go tell my wife.
It doesn't make you gay. It makes
I
you
know it doesn't make you gay.
I wasn't even saying that.
I know that's not how it
Time out.
works.
Real quick. You know
This
how
is turning
funny
into
that
a
would be?
Joe Rogan podcast.
You know how funny that would be if Mick went up to his wife and was like, "Listen, I
Maybe
went
I'm
front
gay
to
now.
back. I'm gay. Do you want to sleep with a man, Mick? I guess. I mean, the way I wipe now.
The guys told me that I wipe from back to front, so I'm gay.
We didn't say that. You did.
Wait,
Nobody
who
said
said
you were
that?
gay.
I wasn't
No,
even.
Not
Oh,
there's
yeah.
anything wrong with that.
Are you trying to do-
No, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm telling you,
That's all.
don't tell me. We don't need to talk about it. Give it a try and tell me that it's terrible.
Okay.
All right? Well,
I got
you
one
don't
coming right
have
now.
to tell me. That was
That's
the
really
point. You don't
skeeving
have
my-
to
No, I
tell
got
me
you.
at all. I'm just telling
Send
you,
pictures. I'll take a video.
once you do it, you'll be changed forever.
I won't.
You'll be changed forever. You're going to be
Obviously.
in. You're going to be like, you know what? He's right. There's more lever. What do you think the 3 seashells do?
I have.
You
Wipe-
wipe. You
get it.
use the
Don't get it.
seashells from front to back, bro.
No,
I
you
was like,
don't.
what's a
You
seashell?
take them from the back and you wipe them up, and then you. Ooh,
What's
I
a
can't believe we
seashell?
have to have this
What are you
argument.
talking about?
Watch Demolition.
Okay. How do you do your toilet paper rolls? Do you go over or under? Let's see where we're out there.
Oh,
I use
over,
wipes.
over.
Okay. Okay. Well, then
Over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're good.
across.
We're good, Mick. See, we're fine.
That's it. It's over. Now, when I say back to front, I don't mean all the way out though. Okay, I mean you come up to the front, you get a good amount, you get your thumb in there on the other side of the toilet paper, and you like get it out, like scrape back the other way, and you get it all. All right.
So you don't even make it to the gooch. You just stop shy of it by like an inch, and then you
Yes, you do
reverse course.
I got
After
three
just
step
like
process.
pull an Uno card. You're like, haha. Oh no, this way.
Reverse.
You're like,
Oh,
nope, no, yeah. You know what it is? It's like that. It's like that carnival ride where everybody
So he-
sits in it and it kind of just goes like this. That's how you got to get it. You got to canoe it a little bit.
Oh, like the boat.
Lord.
Like the boat
Yeah.
shit that goes like
Yes.
Or you can just go front to back and just go one way, and then you're good to
You
go.
could. Essentially, you could, but you're going thumb first. You don't want to go thumb first. You want to get your fingers in.
What the fuck? I can't even picture.
There's
what
toilet
you're
paper there
describing.
blocking the whole
Doesn't
time.
make any
You
sense.
gotta use both hands.
All right.
I don't want to see a demonstration, though.
You're
Don't
getting a
Roll,
demonstration.
roll, one in each hand from
All right,
both
this is
directions.
the challenge, right?
Fine.
Let's pretend this is my asshole.
No,
Yeah.
I got a hockey game.
All right. Listen to
Good
the
luck, Roy.
explanation, and then I'm going to kick you out. All right.
Let's
First of all,
Let's go Knights.
this is the bottom of it. You come up.
That's a
and then
big
get it-
asshole.
Get in and get it out.
Mick was locked
No
up.
What
dingleberry.
the hell is that thing?
It's the chalice from Last Crusade.
Oh, dude, it looked like there was something squishy in there. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Poured a bunch of shit out.
It was. I know what you're saying. I saw the same thing, but I think it was a reflection of his fingers inside the.
It was the dingleberries. It's all
It was
good.
the
It was
dingleberries. You have to get them out. That was the point. If you don't use both sides, you're out. Now I'm going to let Roy go so he can go to his game. We'll see you next week, Roy. We love you.
Have a good one, Roy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roy.
Always
Sorry.
awesome.
Roy
man.
is the true king of America.
In the-
I kicked him out. So you just got to wipe that way. That's all I'm saying.
You should wipe. And you,
You
should
should
also
wipe.
wash your
Always
hands
wipe.
before you rest.
Just get
Always
a
wash
bidet.
your hands when you're
Always
done
wash your hands.
with warm
Why?
soap and water.
For what?
Because the toilet paper rips sometimes.
I don't care. I want to shake
Just get a
people's hands
bidet.
all day. I want them to know they shook my hand. They'll smell it later. They'll be like, shit,
Chocolate covered pretzels.
this GM's disgusting.
A bidet
Yeah, I don't
will
wash my
make your
hands.
day.
I'm going to share my germs.
Well, I guess I figured out what the clip for this week is.
Damn it.
Dookie talk.
Dookie talk with all of us. I want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Roy, for joining in. And of course, go check out Horror Sir Sturdy Podcast, Popcorn and Pints. They're great channels. They're a lot of fun. They're linked down below. You're going to want to hang out. Tomorrow night, we're going to be on Popcorn and Pints. When we're 2 episodes away from finishing our James Bond franchise rewatch, we watched Skyfall this week, Inspector. We're going to be reviewing them, having a great time talking about them. We're going to do some trivia, the whole 9 yards. So make sure you follow over on Popcorn and Pints for that. Worst damn gamer ever. He's out there gaming, and he's trying to talk about movies, even though he says that movie guys should stay in their lane, but whatever. But we're glad Chris is back. Worst damn game ever is taking control. Make sure you get down to crispy nuggets and just enjoy. Just enjoy all the motivation, enjoy all the fun, enjoy all the gaming, and tell us what you think. And make sure you give them a subscribe, both of them. So,
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely. Like, I'm happy as all Chris is back around. The energy is great. Go check him out. Go check him out. And I'll say this, if you're going to watch him, turn your volume down because he's loud. He's Puerto Rican. He can't help
He
himself,
is
but I love it.
super loud.
But you want that for the energy, especially for the
You
gaming
don't
stuff.
want that for the energy.
You do. You need it.
We get the buzz balls again. That's the best part.
Yes,
So
sir.
I want to say thank you guys. Thank you again, Paul, for joining in, hanging out, having a good time. My co-pilot on this magic carpet ride, and all of you for watching, listening, being a part of it. We have a great time doing this. It's the Scene Snobs. Remember to be classy. Take care of yourselves because that is very important, especially in times that are very tough.
Mm-hmm.
And go out there and just be kind.
Very
I can
kind.
give any more messages to anyone. We can all keep hating each other, or we can learn to be kind. And I think I'd rather learn to be kind. So,
And don't smoke crack. Be kind and don't smoke crack.
no crack. Just say no. Until next time, take care of yourselves.